Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today at Decker's Nursery. We've got a beautiful day out, and although we know some of you are maybe trapped at home and not really able to come into the nursery, we do have a ton of beautiful product on the floor and a ton of nice, beautiful, open, airy spaces. And I figured it'd be a nice service to be able to show you guys some of that. So follow me as I walk through the nursery. I'm going to show you some of the things that we have in bloom right now. Here we have one of the classics, phlox, moss phlox, Phlox subulata. Evergreen throughout the season, early spring, beautiful, beautiful flower show. I'm sure most people are familiar with this, but just want to reiterate how functional and versatile it is. If you had a rock wall, a little sun, you can allow that to spill right over the rock wall, and a beautiful flower show, like I said, in early spring. The columbine, the aqualegia we have over here, again, a beautiful, beautiful spring bloomer. Folks are probably familiar with that as well, but looking probably in the second row of the perennial garden for something like that. Can tolerate a little bit of shade as well. Also, we do have some native aqualegia in stock as well, really trying to beef up our native section, and I can show you that in a few minutes. Following with the phlox and the aqualegia, dianthus, another super common spring bloomer, super versatile, can be chopped, pushes out a full new flush of flowers and growth. Really a tremendous perennial. And as we make our way further down and through the perennial section, we get to some of our sedums. Really some interesting stuff this year. This is dragon's blood sedum, and you can see the excellent fall color that this has put on, and the new growth that's emerging with that bright green. Really, really very interesting to look at. Beautiful carpeting sedum, so if you're looking to maybe fill in a place on the top of a rock wall, or in between a patio, or in between pavers, really very functional piece. In addition to the beauty. So moving on from some of the full sun perennials, we've made our way down into the shade perennial section, and we've noticed that a lot of our customers really are inundated with quite a bit of shade. And one of the questions we always hear, really quite often, is how do I get shade? How do I get color into my shade perennial garden? And some of the things that you're seeing in here would be great ways to do that. I'm sure most people are familiar with heuchera and all the great different tones that the foliage of heuchera can provide. The benefit of heuchera, you don't really have to worry about a bloom time, so all the color you get all season based on the color coming from the foliage rather than from the flower. The same could be said for something like heucherella down here. Heucherella is a cross between heuchera and tiarella, so a little bit more showy flower in conjunction with the beautiful foliage. Really a wonderful performer. The lungwort as well, right here. It's going to put on a beautiful flower show early spring. Then if you so choose, you can just enjoy the foliage, or you can give it a nice chop and have it flourish again. Really a great choice. Same with the dicentra. Sure, most folks are familiar with that. The knock on dicentra in the past has been that it goes quasi-dormant in the middle of the summer. We do have some varieties now that avoid that, so you can enjoy them throughout the year, which is really very nice. As we start to turn around here, we can see the hellebores, which are really one of the most exceptional choices for the shade that really exists in our climate. Almost a winter bloomer, very, very, very early spring bloomer, if you even want to call it spring by the time they bloom. Again, a great showpiece for your shade garden, beautiful pop of color, and even when it's not in color, the foliage is very attractive and sort of unique in its own way. So walking around today, we've seen just a few of the beautiful things we have on the perennial tables to offer right now. And while we do have, our beautiful spring bloomers in flower and our early summer bloomers getting ready to start to put on their flower show for the season, we also have some things that will be blooming on later on in the season. We know that a lot of folks are using this time at home to beautify their landscape, maybe create a new perennial garden. And while we would always encourage people to plant a new perennial garden in tiers, hey, maybe you come into the store in the spring, see a few beautiful things, get those planted. Maybe you stop into the store a few weeks later, you see a few other beautiful items on the table that maybe you weren't familiar with before, then you get those planted. Well, we would always encourage that sort of planting rhythm. We realize that people are home and looking to do this now, so we have brought in some things in the yard that may not look like they're in their full glory yet. And the reason that we're doing that is really to provide people the opportunity to plant everything at once. So while we do encourage layering, we do encourage a multiple tiered approach to planting your perennial garden, we do realize the circumstances that we're faced with right now, and we are doing our best to make sure we can accommodate everybody with that. And I'd like to close by saying, just come on into the store. We've got a bunch of staff that would love to help you with whatever project you have planned for the next few weeks, and seeing things in person is always very interesting. So we'd love to see you. Come on by.